Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. And for tonight's episode, I'm actually going to be reviewing an independent director's film that I just actually recently watched again because I actually got a chance to watch this a couple months back and everything. I want to go back and do a refresher in my mind and stuff like that. And I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first go round. And I actually had him on my show and everything recently last month, and that is Telman Bork. He's actually one of my good friends as well. He also follows me on Instagram. And about this film, let me just say this. The creativeness of this film is really great. I really loved what he actually did with this. The cinematography was really good about this film. And let me just go into a little bit of detail what this film is actually about. This movie actually centers around this character named Felix. Felix is actually this guy who doesn't have any confidence in himself when it comes down to women or anything like that. He doesn't have any gravitas, if you will, as to how to actually speak to women. He's actually nervous when he's actually around women. He doesn't want, matter of fact, whenever the secretary of the place that he actually works with asked him, well, what did you do this weekend, Felix? He goes, oh, I just went to the casino. He goes, okay, well, what did you do? What did you do with her? Did you sleep with her? What was the deal? He goes, no, I just went on and I split the winnings and I went about my business. And that was it. There was no sex involved. There was nothing else in that matter or anything like that. So Felix is not very comfortable when it comes down to speaking to women. He's actually a zero who winds up turning into everybody's hero by towards the end of this film. But he also learns some consequences behind what he actually has. But let me just go on and tell you this. I love the mythology that Tillman actually does with this movie is the fact he brings in a little bit of mythology when it comes down to the gift that Felix actually receives, and that is the Midas touch. The Midas touch actually is a touch that Felix has that is given to him by a guy who doesn't even want the Midas touch anymore. And what is the Midas touch, you ask? I'm glad that you guys actually asked that question. The Midas touch is basically a gift that was given to this guy who basically he can touch women, and then next thing you know it, they wind up orgasming, getting turned on by them, by this guy, and next thing you know it, whoever he touches, they actually follow him all the way through the park. It's just attached to this person because they want to be touched by this person again and again and again. And poor Felix and everything, by the time that whenever this gift is actually given to him, he has a bunch of women actually following him and things like that. He doesn't know quite what to actually do about that gift or anything like that. He's not used to a flock of women actually flocking to him or anything like that. He's not the center of attention for people to actually want to actually have sex with him or anything like that. And for these group of women to just flock to him because he touched them is totally new to him. He doesn't know what to do with it and stuff like that. He's actually worn out whenever he's actually having sex with all these women. But the mythology actually centers around different mythologies throughout different centuries and countries whenever it comes down to this. As a matter of fact, in order for the person to actually have that gift, that person has to go on ahead and give that gift to somebody else if they don't want that gift. And so the guy, he sees this guy at the bar. He's like, look, I want you to have my gift because I think that you can actually benefit from my gift. I do not want my gift. And not only that, but you can also see that he's actually worn down from actually having this gift way too long. And also, too, it's like, you know what? I'm actually surprised that the girls actually left me here long enough to where I can actually talk to you without being interrupted by them, so I can give you this gift. And how does he give the gift? Basically, what he does is this: you have to do a little dance in order to get the Midas touch, and it may sound kind of hokey, whatever, and stuff like that, but it's actually kind of comical, which is something I actually admire from this film. Is the fact that the way that the gift is actually given to him is just hilarious because they're doing kind of like a Pulp Fiction kind of thing with the eyes, and then they do the little shakes and stuff like that, and next thing you know it, the person has the Midas touch, but you also have to say, give it to me, give me the gift. So that's the key word. Whenever you actually, after you get done doing that whole entire dance and everything, you actually have to ask the person to give you the gift. And then after that gift is given, you actually have that touch. Now, what else I have to say is this: there's actually a lesson learned in this movie. Yes, it's a little raunchy and stuff like that, but behind the raunchiness of this film, there's actually a lesson learned. I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. But what else I have to say is this: like when Tillman was actually on the show, we were talking about frontal nudity when it comes down to men and women. I had no clue that I was actually going to see Tillman nude and everything. So I'm like, okay, maybe I saw a little too much of him being nude, and I was not expecting that. But I thought it was actually comical and everything too, in a sense too, because he actually is in this movie. He plays this guy who is basically, I don't actually know how to actually categorize his name or anything like that, or the profession that he actually has. He's like an entertainer who was actually trying to get his name out there, and his partner, who was actually helping him along the way, is also in for the ride as well. So basically, they set up this whole entire thing where they get up on stage, and next thing you know, Felix is up on stage, and at that time, he has no confidence in himself. He doesn't know how to actually present himself to women or anything like that. They think of him as just like a loser and things like that. They laugh him off the stage. He said, "Look, we have some lovely parting gifts for you. Matter of fact, we have a penis stretcher for you, so that way you can actually do that." So he gets left off stage, and then from that point on, that's whenever Felix winds up meeting that guy in the bar. So now I'm going to get into the other thing here. This is actually going to be a non-spoiler review, so if you're expecting some spoilers in this movie review, that's not going to happen here. If you guys want to check this movie out, go on and check it out on Amazon Prime. That's where I watched it. And I don't want to spoil the fun for anybody, because here's the thing. This movie just came out last year. It's on Prime right now. Check it out if you guys can. But like I said, behind the raunchiness, behind the silliness of this movie, there is actually a lesson learned in this film. Because remember, women do not want to be represented as playthings or anything like that for a guy's needs and wants and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Felix is actually starting to feel the same way that women are, because of the fact that he keeps on touching all these women. And it got to the point inside the alleyway whenever these women are just wanting to just tear his clothes off and just have sex with him. And he's like, look, I'm a human being. I have needs. I have wants. I want to be represented as someone that's being respectful. And the women just don't care. They just want to go ahead, rip his clothes off, take advantage of him and stuff like that. And I like the reverse effect, because normally you would actually see that from a woman's perspective, but Felix was actually starting to actually change a little bit. It was like, you know what? I need to actually rethink about a few things that I was thinking about before I had this touch and everything, and the cause and effect that I actually have. And that's actually the lesson that I feel like Felix has actually learned from this and everything, is the fact that, with great power becomes great responsibility. I know I'm quoting Spider-Man here, but, that's also the same thing with this, is the fact that Felix is actually trying to get these women to respect him, but he can't do that because of the fact that he has that touch. The only way for him not to even pass that touch on to the woman and everything, to where she's actually turned on by him, is if he has a glove on him and everything. And basically that's the only way they can actually touch the person and stuff like that. Without the glove on and everything, that's whenever the person winds up becoming attached to Felix. Not only that, but there's also a little subplot and everything in this movie as well. You also are dealing with the governor who wants to try and be reelected again. You also have cults in this movie as well. I actually have to say, the thing that I really have to say about the governor, or the person that's actually running, he's definitely a sleazeball. He's definitely a douchebag. He's degrading towards women. He wants the gift that Felix has once he actually sees Felix again running away from the women. And even his boss even looks down on Felix and everything, because he's not even having sex with women in the office. And all of a sudden, when Rhea has the touch, he's like, oh, Felix has changed since the last time that I've seen him, or the last time, a couple of hours that he's been in my office. So I want to have this touch too. Before you know it, they try taking advantage of Felix and things like that. And then Felix is like, you know what? I don't want to have this gift anymore or anything like that. I want to do away with this gift, because it's just causing me too much pain already. It's causing me to have too much grief on my hands. And you can definitely tell that the guy is actually worn down by the middle of the film. This movie does not slow down. The comical elements in this movie is really good, especially when Tillman and his partner is actually in the club watching Felix trying to give the gift to somebody else. And matter of fact, Tillman's actually dressed up as drag, so the way Felix wouldn't recognize him from the show and everything. And then matter of fact, the partner and Tillman actually gets into like a little argument and everything, and the guy's always getting beaten up by Tillman in this movie, but it's actually funny whenever you see them two on the screen. I also love the music whenever it comes down to the silliness and the context of the film in itself. I know that maybe not that many people might actually agree with me on the level of how funny this film actually is, or the whole entire aspect of what the lesson is actually being learned here, but I really had a lot of fun actually just watching it for what it was. It was one of those movies that I feel like that I can revisit again if I wanted to, if I wanted to go ahead and rewatch. And matter of fact, I did. Like I said, I did a revisit just recently, and I winded up loving it just the same amount of time that I liked it the first go round. And also, too, I also enjoyed the music. And then there's also a song called "In My Room," which is originally sung by the Beach Boys, and then they actually had to probably go ahead and get somebody else to sing that song because maybe they couldn't actually get the actual Beach Boys song, so therefore they might have actually had to go into their budget a little bit to get somebody else to sing that song. But either way it goes, I thought it was perfect placement for Felix for that song. And I really have to say, Tillman does a really good job at directing. Cinematography was really good. This movie, if you're looking for something that you don't want your kids to watch this film, because seriously, I think that you guys might actually have a little bit of fun with it. You might be able to learn something from this film. And also, too, by the end of the film, by the time this movie actually wraps up and stuff like that, he does pass it on to somebody. But also, too, and I'm not sure at first I was actually thinking of it like this, and I'm not sure if the women are actually succubus by the end of the film, or if the fact that there's actually a symbolic type of thing going on by the end of the film that actually happens, where, for example, you actually see them eating the person that actually has the gift because he touched too many people at one time, and next thing you know, they start just going after and gnawing on that person's body. And I'm thinking, well, okay, what if this is actually about how women are being perceived through through the lenses of how we look at women, and therefore we're actually eating. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just doing a little thing here where I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's something that we're missing as men, where we actually just see women and we just degrade them to the point where all they see is the fact that all we want to do is eat them from the inside out within their flesh. That's all I'm thinking. I'm just thinking on top of my head and stuff like that, and that's actually being reversed into this effect with the gift that has been passed on to this other person. And also, too, the mythology also says if Felix passes this on to somebody else that doesn't have the right intentions like Felix had, it could have the opposite effect as well. So that it could also be played up a little bit as well into that aspect. So, I'd love, like I said, I like the mythology about it. The acting was really good. The character has very good developing in it. There's not really much that I can say that I didn't like about this film or anything like that. I felt like the runtime is really perfect for a movie that's independent like this. Bork actually knew exactly what he wanted to do. Tillman knew what he wanted to do with this film. You can definitely tell that this is actually a movie that isn't made for kids. So if you have kids, do not let them watch this movie, but it is a good movie regardless of anything. So I know this video is a little shorter and stuff like that, but like I said, I'm flying solo tonight. I felt like this is actually the right time for me to go ahead and do this review now. I'm not that busy at the moment, and I've been wanting to do this review. So Tillman, I hope that you're watching this right now and stuff like that, and I hope that you enjoy this review. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me for this video. I know, like I said, I know this is short, but this is a non-spoiler review, and I didn't want to go into a spoiler-heavy thing, especially when not that many people may have heard about this movie, especially when people have Amazon Prime now, and they can watch it for themselves, and maybe come back in the comment section and be like, hey, look, I like this movie. Tell me a little bit more about this movie and everything afterwards. Let's chat about it. Let's just have like a virtual water cooler, talking in front of a water cooler and having a good time with it. So anyways, that's it for now, and get this, guys. If you guys want to, you guys don't have to. I actually have a link below where you can actually donate to the show, and go on ahead, click on that if you want to donate some money towards us. Not only that, but we also are sponsored by Audible. Go on ahead, get your 30-day trial over there. click on the link below for that. Another thing too is if you want to go in for all your entertainment needs and wants and stuff like that for your movie reviews, TV reviews, or movie news articles and stuff like that, go to www.movieloversunite.com. Then, of course, you can follow me at Movie Lovers Unite, TV Lovers Unite on Facebook, Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite on Instagram, and also under the same name on Pinterest as well. Excuse me. And then, of course, you can follow me on Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter, and also too, you can follow me on John DeGorio 8 on Twitter over there as well. So you can find me there, and you can find this podcast episode on wherever you guys get your podcast at. And like I said, we do audio podcasts and everything, and you can find that over there. And I'm actually going to probably try and get another show going tomorrow night where I'm going to be reviewing probably The Little Things, the new Denzel Washington movie, or if that's going to happen Tuesday night. I have to find out from Frenchie on when he wants to actually do that and everything. But guys, I hope you enjoy this review, and I hope that you guys actually stay safe out there. And always, until next time, guys, do me this one big favor. Go on ahead, show me some love, hit that like button, smash that share button. And always, until next time, guys, bye-bye.